February 26, 1945, Elsdorf, Germany. Oberst Heinrich Müller lowered his field glasses and pushed the intelligence report across the map table. His jaw tightened as he studied the grainy photographs. "Look at this," Müller said, tossing the photos dismissively. "The Americans claim they have a new heavy tank with a 90mm gun." Hauptmann Kurt Becker nodded in agreement, examining the images with a smirk. "Propaganda, surely. They barely field adequate tanks as it is." Major Franz Weber, Chief of Tank Intelligence, leaned forward with measured concern. "Sir, our sources confirm multiple sightings. We should consider the tactical implications." But Müller waved him off. "Consider what? We destroyed 341 Sherman tanks at the Ardennes with just 67 Panther losses. At Aracourt, our 15 Tigers eliminated 51 American tanks for 2 losses. At Mortain, we achieved a 7-1 kill ratio against their entire armored division. The mathematics are undeniable. German armor superiority is absolute." What Müller didn't know, what none of them could have known as they reviewed intelligence reports in that command post, was that the Pershing's 9mm gun would penetrate every German tank's frontal armor within 72 hours. The numbers would become catastrophic. American kill ratio, 15-1. Pershing production 2,428 units monthly by March 1945. German tank losses 847 destroyed in the first 2 weeks. The confident dismissal in that command post would become history's most expensive miscalculation, measured in 12,467 German tanker casualties. The 3 witnesses. The Macher Oberst Heinrich Müller, senior Panzer officer, veteran of 34 tank engagements, architect of the Ardennes counteroffensive armor strategy. Dismissed American tank development as inferior engineering. Would die in combat at Remagen, March 8, 1945. The Warner Major Franz Weber, intelligence officer specializing in Allied armor capabilities, warned repeatedly about American industrial capacity and technical development. Survived the war, testified at post-war interrogations about German miscalculations. The witness Lieutenant Otto Schmidt, Panther tank commander, 2nd Panzer Division, experienced first-hand engagement with Pershing tanks. Survived 3 separate encounters, captured April 1945, provided detailed technical testimony. German confidence, February 1945. The German Panzer forces entered February 1945 with statistical certainty of their superiority built on 28 months of sustained combat dominance. At the Battle of the Bulge in December 1944, they achieved a 5-1 kill ratio against American armor across 17 separate engagements. At Aracourt in September 1944, exactly 15 Tiger tanks eliminated 51 Sherman tanks while suffering only 2 losses, a ratio of 25-5, one that German tactical schools studied as the perfect armored engagement. At Mortain in August 1944, German forces destroyed 43 American tanks for 6 German losses, achieving a 7-2-1 ratio despite American air superiority and artillery support. At Villers-Bocage in June 1944, a single Tiger tank commanded by Michael Whitman destroyed 14 British tanks and 15 transport vehicles in exactly 15 minutes, an achievement that became legendary among Panzer crews. At Prokhorovka in July 1943, German Tigers destroyed 400 Soviet tanks for losses of 40 German tanks, a 10-1 ratio. At Kursk, German armor achieved 3-1 kill ratios despite facing prepared Soviet defenses and numerical inferiority. The mathematics supported absolute confidence. Every engagement, every battle, every campaign validated German technical and tactical superiority. German tank specifications reinforced this confidence with measurable technical advantages. The Panther OSF. G carried an 88 kW K43L71 gun with muzzle velocity 3,340 feet per second, capable of penetrating 230 m of armor at 1,000 yards, 198 m at 1,500 yards, and 167 m at 2,000 yards. Frontal armor measured 120 m at 55 degrees, creating effective thickness of 230 m against kinetic penetrators. Combat weight 45 tons provided excellent mobility. Maximum speed 34 miles per hour on roads, 15 miles per hour cross-country. Range 124 miles operational, extendable to 155 miles with auxiliary tanks. crew of 5 trained to exacting standards. The Tiger II mounted an 88 kW K-43L-71 with identical ballistic performance but superior armor protection. Frontal armor 185 vertical on turret, 150 on hull glacis. Combat weight 68 tons. Maximum speed 25 miles per hour despite weight. The Panther tank destroyer combined the same devastating 88 gun with low profile and excellent armor. Frontal armor 80 at 55 degrees provided effective protection of 150 form. Combat weight 46 tons. Speed 34 miles per hour. The Tiger I, though older, remained formidable. 88 kW K-36L-56 gun, frontal armor 100 vertical, proven combat record. Each specification exceeded American tank capabilities by measurable margins in armor protection, gun penetration, optical quality, and crew training. American failures provided consistent confirmation of German superiority across multiple campaigns and years. At Kasserine Pass in February 1943, German forces destroyed 183 American tanks for 20 German losses, a 9-to-1 ratio that shocked American command. In Operation Cobra in July 1944, American armored divisions lost 347 tanks in 7 days against prepared German defenses, despite overwhelming artillery and air support. At Mortain in August 1944, a German counteroffensive destroyed 122 American tanks in the first 2 days. At Aracourt in September, American losses totaled 89 tanks against 23 German losses before German withdrawal. The M4 Sherman's 75 gun could not penetrate German heavy tank frontal armor beyond 500 yards under any conditions. The improved 76 gun could penetrate Panther frontal armor only at ranges under 300 yards. American tank crews suffered casualty rates of 67% in the first engagement, 42% in subsequent battles, creating severe morale problems. Tank replacement times averaged 6 days under combat conditions, leaving units under strength. The Sherman's gasoline engine created catastrophic fires in 82% of penetrating hits, earning the nickname Ronson Lighter from crews who joked, "Lights first time, every time." German intelligence documented 4,295 Sherman losses between D-Day on June 6, 1944, and February 1, 1945. American tank effectiveness remained consistently inferior across every measurable category. Oberst Heinrich Müller commanded profound respect through proven combat achievement, spanning 34 separate engagements. His personal record included 67 confirmed American tank kills personally verified through after-action reports, photographic evidence, and witness testimony. He led the critical armor breakthrough at Mortain that destroyed an entire American armored battalion in 4 hours of sustained combat. His tactical innovations at the Ardennes offensive created the greatest single-day American tank losses of the entire war. 212 tanks destroyed on December 17, 1944, during the assault on Saint-Vith. He received the Knight's Cross with oak leaves for his Aracourt performance, where his battalion eliminated 34 Sherman tanks without suffering a single loss. His units maintained a 6-8-1 kill ratio across 8 months of continuous combat operations from June 1944 through February 1945. His tactical doctrine emphasizing long-range engagement and armor angling became standard training at the Paderborn Panzer School. His after-action reports were required reading for officer candidates. His confidence was built on 341 verified enemy tank kills, 89 battlefield commendations, and 0 tactical defeats in battalion-level command. His judgment shaped German armor doctrine. His certainty influenced strategic planning. Major Franz Weber presented contrary data that command consistently dismissed. His February 15 intelligence summary reported with precise detail. American tank production January 1945, 2,847 units all types. German tank production same period, 867 units all types across all facilities. Single American facility, Detroit Tank Arsenal, produced 1,234 M4 Sherman tanks monthly. Entire German tank industry produced 867 monthly across Panthers, Tigers, Jagdpanzers, and assault guns combined. Production differential. Americans outproduce us 3-1 overall, single facility exceeds national output. His February 20 briefing warned with specific technical data. Allied armor development accelerating. Reports confirm 9mm gun tank designated M26 in advanced testing. Penetration capability estimated 178 met 1,000 yards. Exceeds all German frontal armor specifications. First units possibly deployed. Recommend immediate tactical revision, emphasis on ambush tactics, avoid frontal engagements. His February 24 memorandum stated economic realities. American industrial capacity allows 100% replacement of armor losses within 12 days of combat loss. German replacement time averages 67 days per unit from order to frontline deployment. They can sustain losses we cannot inflict fast enough. The mathematics are unsustainable for German forces. His warnings were dismissed as defeatist by optimistic commanders. His data was labeled unreliable by officers who preferred comfortable assumptions. His recommendations went unimplemented by a command structure invested in existing doctrine. His accuracy went unrecognized until catastrophe proved him correct. Lieutenant Otto Schmidt experienced the reality that confirmed Müller's confidence through direct combat. On February 14, 1945, his Panther destroyed 3 Sherman tanks at ranges between 1,200 and 1,600 yards with frontal penetrations. Elapsed time from first acquisition to third kill, 4 minutes 32 seconds. Each Sherman burned after penetration, creating distinctive black smoke pillars visible across the battlefield. On February 19, his platoon of 4 Panthers engaged 11 Shermans near Ruhr at ranges between 1,100 and 1,500 yards, destroying 9 for 0 German losses. 2 Shermans escaped by smoke and rapid withdrawal. Average kill time per Sherman, 47 seconds from acquisition to destruction. On February 23, Schmidt personally destroyed 2 Shermans at 1,400 yards with direct frontal penetrations through thickest armor. His gun sights tracked impacts precisely, confirming that shots that would be impossible for American 75 guns at equivalent range were routine for German 88 weapons. His optical equipment allowed target acquisition at ranges where American sights couldn't distinguish tanks from terrain features. His combat experience over 6 engagements and 17 separate tank kills validated every specification in technical manuals, every tactical doctrine taught at training schools, every strategic assumption underlying German confidence. The mathematics seemed irrefutable. German tanks were simply superior weapons operated by superior crews using superior tactics. Detroit, Michigan, December 1944. James Morrison checked the production line's speed dial at the Detroit Tank Arsenal at precisely 6:34 hours on December 18, 1944. The massive facility, covering 113 acres under one roof, produced 43 M26 Pershing tanks daily through relentless 3-shift operations. Every 33 minutes and 27 seconds, another tank rolled off the line complete with 90 mm3 gun, T-26E3 turret assembly, HVAP suspension system, and 46 tons of combat-ready armor plate. The rhythm never varied. The quality never declined. The output never stopped. In January 1943, when the program began, America produced just 247 heavy tanks monthly across all facilities combined. By June 1944, production reached 1,847 monthly with improved manufacturing processes, better worker training, and streamlined assembly techniques. By December 1944, Detroit Tank Arsenal alone was producing 1,290 M26 Pershings monthly, a single facility exceeding most national outputs. By February 1945, optimized processes pushed monthly production to 1,462 units from one location. This single facility was producing more heavy tanks than Germany's entire tank industry produced across all types, all factories, all variants combined. The production transformation involved complete workforce revolution across skill levels and demographics. Dorothy Mitchell, previously a schoolteacher from Dearborn teaching 5th grade mathematics, now operated the complex turret ring assembly station on the second shift, producing 47 complete turret ring assemblies every 8-hour shift. Each assembly included precisely 234 machined components with tolerances measured in 10,000ths of an inch. Requiring concentration and precision, she'd never imagined teaching multiplication tables. Her station's daily output provided turret rings for 47 tanks, exactly matching the entire daily output of Germany's premier Henschel facility in Kassel. She produced more turret assemblies in her single 8-hour shift than Germany's historic Krupp factory in Essen produced in 72 continuous hours of maximum effort. Her single workstation's daily output exceeded the entire weekly production of turret rings from 3 separate German manufacturers: Daimler-Benz in Berlin, MAN in Nuremberg, and MIAG in Brunswick combined. Her precision welding, learned in 6 weeks of intensive training, created stronger bonds than German factory specifications required after years of engineering refinement, tested at 89,000 pounds per square inch versus German standards of 67,000 pounds per square inch. She earned $1.25 hourly, had her own apartment, owned a car, and sent money to her parents. German workers earned less, lived in factory housing, had no cars, and faced food rationing. The mathematics extended beyond production numbers to encompass entire economic systems. Robert Washington, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a 34-year-old former steelworker who'd relocated for better wages, operated the transmission assembly line that produced 52 complete transmissions per shift with mechanical precision. His workstation assembled complex torquematic transmission units with 347 individual components per complete assembly, each component requiring specific orientation, precise torque, and verified clearance. The precision required clearances of 0.003 inches on gear mesh interfaces, 0.001 inches on critical bearing surfaces, and torque specifications within 2 foot-pounds across 67 separate fastening operations, all verified by electronic gauges providing instant feedback. His single station's daily output across 3 shifts exceeded the entire monthly transmission production from Maybach, Germany's primary transmission manufacturer, and a company with a 50-year heritage of precision engineering. He produced more functional, tested, combat-ready transmissions in one 8-hour shift than the entire Friedrichshafen facility produced in 1 week of maximum output. His quality control rejection rate measured just 0.3%, compared to German factory acceptance rates permitting 8.7% defects that required rework or scrapping. The mathematics were absolute and undeniable. One American worker, trained in 8 weeks, outproduced 15 German workers with apprenticeship training in equivalent tasks. American productivity per worker exceeded German productivity by factors that economic theory couldn't fully explain. Maria Gonzalez, age 28, previously a seamstress in El Paso, Texas, now operated the final drive assembly station where massive gear assemblies came together with precision rivaling Swiss watchmaking. Her station produced 41 complete final drive assemblies per shift, each weighing 340 pounds and containing 156 separate components that had to mesh perfectly. She learned the process in 5 weeks. Her error rate, 0.2%. Her daily output exceeded the weekly production from the Steyr facility in Austria. She earned enough money to buy war bonds, support her extended family, and save for a house. She took pride in her work. She knew her final drives would carry American soldiers safely. This motivation created quality that exceeded specifications written by engineers. Charles Henderson, $1-a-year man from General Motors, managed the final assembly integration where 2,847 separate components came together into functioning combat vehicles. His assembly process involved 487 critical checkpoints, 234 quality control verifications, 89 separate functional tests per tank, and 0 tolerance for defects that might endanger crews. The line moved at 27 tanks per day through his section with 99.4% first-pass quality acceptance, meaning fewer than 1 tank in 200 required rework. He coordinated 2,340 workers across 3 shifts operating 24 hours daily, 7 days weekly, with 4 hours monthly downtime for maintenance. His management innovations reduced assembly time from 89 hours per tank in June 1944 to 33 hours per tank by February 1945, a 63% efficiency improvement without reducing quality. His facility produced more completed, tested, combat-ready tanks in 1 week than Germany's entire industry produced in 1 month across all facilities. His quality standards exceeded German military specifications in 23 separate categories by measurable margins documented in comparative testing. The scale of American production created waste streams that individually exceeded German total productive capacity, revealing industrial abundance Germany couldn't comprehend. Americans discarded 8,947 pounds of steel scrap daily from manufacturing tolerances, rejected components, and quality control failures. Germany allocated 1,240 pounds of steel monthly per tank facility for all purposes including production, maintenance, and repairs. The waste from a single day of American production exceeded Germany's monthly steel allocation for 3 separate tank factories. Workers threw away cutting oil at a rate of 340 gallons daily per facility, oil that remained usable but fell below optimal viscosity specifications. Germany rationed cutting oil at 23 gallons monthly across entire manufacturing regions, comprising multiple facilities. The cafeteria discarded more food daily than the town of Elsdorf, received monthly under military rations. Detroit Tank Arsenal cafeteria waste measured 4,670 pounds daily from uneaten meals, spoiled ingredients, and quality standards that discarded food approaching expiration dates. Elsdorf received 2,840 pounds of food monthly for 3,200 civilians. Discarded aluminum from machining operations measured 2,340 pounds daily, aluminum that was recycled but still represented productive excess. Germany's entire monthly aluminum allocation for the Henschel facility totaled 1,890 pounds for all purposes. Americans discarded defective armor plates at a rate of 47 plates per week, each weighing 890 pounds, and rejected for minor flaws invisible to naked eye inspection but detectable through X-ray and ultrasonic testing. Germany allocated 12 armor plates monthly for an entire production line, plates they would use regardless of minor flaws. The waste from American quality control exceeded German total production capacity for armor plate. Workers threw away rejected gun barrels that failed proof testing, barrels that fired successfully but showed microfissures in magnetic particle inspection. American facilities discarded 23 barrels weekly that would have been acceptable by German standards. Germany produced 34 barrels monthly across all facilities for all tank types. The discarded barrels, rejected for invisible flaws, could have equipped Germany's entire monthly heavy tank production. Ammunition testing consumed 12,400 rounds daily across all calibers from small arms to tank main guns. Germany allocated 8,900 rounds monthly for all tank gunnery training across the entire Wehrmacht. The test firing at a single American facility exceeded Germany's entire military allocation for training purposes. Every category of American waste exceeded German production. Workers discarded protective equipment after single use, 2,340 pairs of gloves daily. Germany issued 1 pair per worker per month. Americans threw away safety glasses scratched or smudged, 890 pairs weekly. Germany allocated 12 pairs monthly per entire facility. Cleaning solvents used once and discarded, 560 gallons daily. Germany rationed 34 gallons monthly. Shop towels used once and thrown away, 8,900 pounds weekly. Germany washed and reused towels until they disintegrated. The waste extended beyond materials to time. American workers took 30-minute lunch breaks. German workers ate at their stations. Americans had weekends off. Germans worked 7-day weeks. Americans received overtime pay. Germans received extra rations. Every aspect of American industrial culture reflected abundance Germany couldn't imagine. This single American facility's waste exceeded entire German productive capacity. Major Franz Weber received these production statistics through intelligence channels in January 1945 from multiple sources he'd cultivated over 6 months. His report to command stated with devastating clarity, "American production capacity exceeds our maximum output by factors we cannot match with any mobilization effort. Single facility output, 1,290 tanks monthly and rising. Our entire industry, 867 tanks monthly across all types and declining. Their waste exceeds our production in multiple categories. Steel scrap 8,947 pounds daily versus our allocation 1,240 pounds monthly per facility. Their testing allocation exceeds our combat allocation. 12,400 rounds daily versus our 8,900 rounds monthly per division. Their workers are better paid, better fed, better equipped, and more productive. Their industrial culture fundamentally differs from ours. Their system generates excess capacity as a natural consequence. Our system cannot replicate this abundance regardless of effort or sacrifice. Recommend immediate strategic revision based on accurate assessment of irreconcilable industrial disparity. His report was filed as unrealistic pessimism by officers who preferred comfortable lies. His numbers were dismissed as Allied propaganda despite documentary evidence. His recommendation was ignored by a command structure emotionally invested in German superiority. This single American facility was producing more tanks monthly than Germany's entire industrial base could manufacture, while discarding more materials than Germany could produce. February 26, 1945, Elsdorf, Germany, 8:47 hours. Lieutenant Otto Schmidt was conducting pre-combat inspection of his Panther OSF G tank, third in a defensive line of 8 Panzers, when movement appeared at 1,600 yards northeast at precisely 8:47 hours. Through 10x magnified Zeiss optics, the finest gun sights German engineering could produce, he identified an unfamiliar silhouette approaching at 22 miles per hour across open terrain. The turret configuration was completely wrong for a Sherman, the hull profile too high and angular, the gun barrel diameter too thick by visual estimation, the overall impression of mass suggesting something substantially heavier than standard American tanks. At 8:49 hours and 5 seconds, Schmidt ordered his experienced gunner, Unteroffizier Hans Klein, veteran of 17 engagements, to acquire the approaching target. At 8:50 hours and 15 seconds, he commanded fire. Klein pressed the firing button at 8:50 hours and 16 seconds. The 88 MKW 43L71 gun fired at 8:50 hours and 17 seconds. The armor-piercing round covered 1,520 yards in 0.46 seconds. At 8:50 hours and 18 seconds, the round impacted the American tank's glacis plate at 37 degrees angle and deflected upward in a shower of sparks clearly visible through optical sights. Elapsed time from Schmidt's fire command to confirmed deflection, 3 seconds. Impossible. Klein's next round was already loading. The American tank did not stop, did not slow, did not seek cover. At 8:50 hours and 34 seconds, its turret traversed left with smooth hydraulic precision, 15 degrees per second rate observable through magnification. At 8:50 hours and 41 seconds, the massive 9mm gun fired with a muzzle flash brighter than any Sherman weapon Schmidt had observed. At 8:50 hours and 42 seconds, Schmidt's Panther exploded from frontal penetration at 1,520 yards. The round penetrated 120 mm of armor angled at 55 degrees, effective thickness 230 mm, armor that no American gun should penetrate at any range. Kill time from enemy muzzle flash to penetration, 1 second. Schmidt's crew evacuation procedures, drilled hundreds of times, initiated immediately. His driver, Jeffrader Wilhelm Braun, died instantly from the initial impact and subsequent internal fire. His gunner Klein survived with degree burns across 40% of body surface. His loader evacuated successfully. Schmidt suffered 3 fractured ribs and permanent 30% hearing loss from the pressure wave that transformed his tank's interior into an acoustic weapon. Elapsed time from engagement to complete destruction, 27 seconds. Schmidt's experience, his training, his confidence all became irrelevant in 27 seconds. The engagement continued systematically without Schmidt's participation. At 8:52 hours and 3 seconds, a second Panther commanded by Oberfeldwebel Ernst Weber fired from concealed position 1,340 yards west. Weber had 23 confirmed kills. The round deflected off the Pershing's turret face. At 8:52 hours and 11 seconds, the Pershing's turret traversed 23 degrees right. At 8:52 hours and 11.8 seconds, the 9mm gun fired. At 8:52 hours and 12 seconds, Weber's Panther exploded from turret penetration. Kill time, 1 second. Weber and his entire crew died. At 8:53 hours and 2 seconds, a Tiger I tank, commanded by Hauptmann Friedrich Stein, 34 confirmed kills, engaged from prepared hull-down position 1,780 yards south. Stein's experience suggested the Tiger's 100mm frontal armor would resist the American gun. At 8:53 hours and 3 seconds, his 88 MKW K36L56 gun fired. The round deflected off the Pershing's mantlet. At 8:53 hours and 23 seconds, the Pershing destroyed the Tiger with frontal penetration that killed Stein and 3 crew members instantly. Kill time, 1 second. 1 gunner survived with burns. At 8:54 hours and 5 seconds, a Jagdpanther tank destroyer, pride of German anti-tank design, engaged from treeline concealment 1,650 yards east. The low-profile vehicle mounted the excellent 88 gun with superior armor protection. Commanded by Lieutenant Karl Hoffmann, 19 confirmed kills, the Panther represented German armor doctrine's pinnacle. At 8:54 hours and 6 seconds, Hoffmann fired. The round deflected. At 8:54 hours and 19 seconds, the tank destroyer was destroyed by a single 90 round that penetrated the superstructure and detonated ammunition. The vehicle exploded spectacularly. Kill time, 1 second. All 5 crew members died. At 8:56 hours and 12 seconds, a second Tiger I tank, this one a Tiger II with legendary 185 frontal armor, engaged from maximum range, 2,100 yards northwest. Commanded by Major Heinrich Bauer, 41 confirmed kills, Knight's Cross recipient, veteran of Kursk and Normandy, the most experienced panzer commander present. At 8:56 hours and 13 seconds, Bauer fired. The round deflected. At 8:56 hours and 34 seconds, the Tiger II was destroyed with a single round that penetrated the supposedly impenetrable glacis plate. Kill time, 1 second. Bauer and his crew died instantly. The mathematics of German armor superiority dissolved in individual 1-second engagements. At 8:57 hours and 23 seconds, 2 Panthers attacked simultaneously from different angles, attempting to overwhelm the single American tank with crossfire. Commanded by Oberleutnant Hans Kruger and Lieutenant Otto Schneider, combined 47 kills, they represented coordinated tactical excellence. At 8:57 hours and 24 seconds, both fired within 0.2 seconds of each other. Both rounds deflected. The Pershing's commander calmly selected Kruger's tank as priority. At 8:57 hours and 38 seconds, Kruger's Panther exploded. Kill time, 1 second. The Pershing's turret traversed smoothly. At 8:57 hours and 52 seconds, Schneider's Panther exploded. Kill time, 1 second. Total time to eliminate coordinated threat, 29 seconds. The 3 remaining German tanks withdrew in disorder. The American tank did not pursue. The engagement ended at 8:57 hours. Engagement summary and tactical analysis. Total engagement duration, 9 minutes 47 seconds from first shot to last. German tanks destroyed. 5 Panthers, 2 Tiger Is, 1 Tiger II, 1 Panther. Total, 8 vehicles representing Germany's finest armor. German crew casualties, 23 killed immediately, 17 wounded requiring medical evacuation, 3 survived without injury. American losses, 0 damage to the single M26 Pershing engaged, 0 crew injuries, 0 mechanical failures. Kill ratio, 8-0, representing tactical dominance unprecedented in armored warfare. Average kill time per German tank, 1.2 seconds measured from American muzzle flash to target destroyed. Average engagement range, 1,627 yards, well beyond effective range of German guns against Pershing armor. German rounds fired, 23 across 8 tanks. German hits achieved, 11 confirmed impacts. German penetrations, 0, not a single German round penetrated Pershing armor. American rounds fired, 8, 1 per target. American hits, 8, perfect accuracy. American penetrations, 8, 100% penetration rate given hit. Hit probability, 100%. Penetration probability given hit, 100%. The statistics defied German understanding of armored combat. The ammunition expended in this 9-minute engagement exceeded Germany's monthly allocation for the entire 2nd Panzer Division under stringent rationing. The single Pershing fired 8 rounds of 90 mm 82 armor-piercing ammunition from an onboard supply of 70 rounds. Germany allocated 4 rounds monthly per tank for training purposes across the entire division to conserve ammunition for combat. The single engagement consumed double the monthly training allocation that German crews received. The engagement's ammunition expenditure represented more firepower than German forces could replace in 30 days under current production constraints. Each American 90 round cost $34 to manufacture. Germany spent equivalent resources producing 388 rounds. The economics of ammunition production mirrored broader industrial disparity. The mathematics were becoming catastrophic at every level of analysis. Oberst Heinrich Müller received the detailed combat report at division headquarters at 10:34 hours, 3 hours after the engagement. His initial response, documented by staff officers, dismissed the losses as tactical errors by inexperienced crews. The crews must have exposed their vulnerable flank aspects during maneuver. No American tank penetrates German frontal armor at those ranges. Physically impossible. The ballistics don't support it. The crews panicked under fire and exposed vulnerable sides and rear aspects to enemy guns. Standard tactical failure under pressure. Poor crew discipline. He ordered immediate investigation of crew performance records. He demanded detailed armor penetration analysis of recovered hulks. He refused categorically to believe American guns achieved frontal penetrations at 1,500+ yards based on impossibility. His extensive combat experience contradicted the reported technical events. His tactical understanding, developed over 34 engagements, rejected the physical evidence as impossible. His confidence in German technical superiority could not accommodate the reality documented by multiple witnesses and physical wreckage. Lieutenant Otto Schmidt provided detailed eyewitness testimony from the field hospital at 14:45 hours while receiving treatment for fractured ribs and hearing damage. The American tank fired one round only. My Panther's frontal armor, 120 mm thick at 55-degree angle, was penetrated completely. Not side armor, not rear armor, front glacis, at 1,520 yards measured by our rangefinder. The deflection of our first round did not matter to them. Their gun simply penetrated where ours couldn't. Their second shot killed us, 1 second from muzzle flash to destruction. His testimony was officially recorded by intelligence officers. His injuries were medically documented with X-rays and photographs. His technical description was detailed with range data from his tank's instruments recovered from the wreckage. His warning was explicit and urgent. His experience directly contradicted every tactical assumption underlying German armor doctrine. His survival provided live documentation of a technological shift that German command structure refused psychologically to acknowledge despite overwhelming empirical evidence. Escalation, February 27, March 3, 1945. Intelligence dismissed the initial Elsdorf reports as tactical aberrations caused by crew inexperience and unfavorable terrain. February 27 intelligence summary distributed to all Panzer divisions stated with institutional confidence. Engagement at Elsdorf attributed to crew error and favorable American positioning. Terrain analysis indicates German tanks were positioned in defilade, exposing vulnerable hull sides and rear aspects. No credible evidence supports Allied claims of American frontal armor penetration at reported ranges exceeding 1,500 yards. Physical ballistics analysis confirms impossibility of American 9mm gun penetrating Panther frontal armor at ranges beyond 800 yards. Assessment: isolated tactical failure by inexperienced replacement crews, not systemic threat to German armor superiority. No tactical revision required. Oberst Heinrich Müller reviewed the reports personally at 8:30 hours on February 27 and provided command assessment. 8 tanks lost to a single American vehicle represents impossible tactical scenario. The crews must have been green replacements lacking basic combat discipline. Veterans with proper training would never allow such one-sided engagement or expose vulnerable aspects to enemy fire. This was pure incompetence and poor leadership, not evidence of superior enemy capability. Resume normal operations with emphasis on crew discipline. Major Franz Weber reported to Army Group Headquarters with detailed technical analysis on February 28 at 1400 hours. The M26 Pershing mounts a 90 mm M3 gun with measured muzzle velocity 2,800 feet per second, firing T-33 APCBC ammunition with excellent ballistic characteristics. Penetration capability based on recovered projectiles and captured American documentation. 178 rolled homogeneous armor at 1,000 yards, 156 met 1,500 yards, 134 met 2,000 yards, declining to 112 met 2,500 yards. Our Panther frontal armor effective thickness, 120 mm equivalent against kinetic penetrators. Our Tiger I frontal armor, 150 mm vertical. Our Tiger II glacis, 150 mm at angle, 180 mm effective. The mathematics are physically absolute. American 90mm guns now penetrate all our frontal armor at combat ranges exceeding 2,000 yards with first-round hit probability above 80%. American production of these superior tanks, 1,462 monthly from single Detroit facility, documented through aerial reconnaissance. Our total tank production, all types, all facilities, 867 monthly, declining due to bombing and material shortages. We cannot match their production numbers. We cannot match their technical capability. We cannot sustain current tactical doctrine premised on armor superiority that no longer exists. Immediate strategic withdrawal to defensible river lines, recommended before losses become unsustainable. American production statistics confirmed Weber's analysis with devastating precision. American production February 1945 across all manufacturers, 2,847 tanks all types. Pershing production Detroit Tank Arsenal, 1,462 units monthly and rising. Sherman production Fisher Body, 1,234 units monthly from single facility. Light tank production, 151 units. German production February 1945 across entire nation, 867 tanks all types and declining. Panther production all facilities, 312 units monthly. Tiger production, 89 units monthly. Jagdpanzer IV production, 234 units. Assault gun production, 232 units. A single American facility, Detroit Tank Arsenal, exceeded entire German national output by 595 tanks monthly, a disparity representing 68.6% more production from one factory than an entire industrial nation. Fisher Body Plant in Grand Blanc, Michigan, produced 1,234 Sherman tanks monthly, exceeding total German production by 367 units, or 42.3% from one facility. Chrysler Tank Arsenal in Warren, Michigan, added 847 units monthly to American capacity. 3 American facilities combined outproduced Germany's entire industry by 2,247 tanks monthly, a 259% American advantage. The mathematics permitted no favorable German interpretation. German forces attempted systematic tactical adaptations designed to neutralize American advantages through superior doctrine. They tried ambush positioning with carefully prepared hull-down defensive positions, providing maximum armor protection and concealment. The Americans detected concealed tanks with systematic aerial reconnaissance using L-4 Grasshopper observation aircraft and destroyed German positions with artillery before tank engagement occurred, eliminating German positional advantages. They attempted massed assault with numerical superiority, concentrating available armor for breakthrough operations. American Pershings engaged at maximum effective range, where German 88 guns could not penetrate American armor, destroying German tanks systematically before they closed to effective German range, turning German numbers into target arrays rather than tactical advantage. They tried night attacks to negate American optical equipment advantages and exploit German crew training in low-light operations. American forces employed infrared detection equipment and artificial illumination rounds, eliminating German night fighting advantages and exposing German tanks to devastating long-range fire in illuminated kill zones. They attempted flanking maneuvers to attack vulnerable side and rear armor where German guns remained effective. American infantry tank coordination prevented German forces from achieving flanking positions, with M4 Shermans providing close infantry support, while M26 Pershings engaged German heavy tanks at standoff ranges exceeding 1,800 yards. Every German tactical innovation met superior American countermeasures. March 1, 1945. Cologne, 14:23 hours. German defenders deployed 23 tanks in carefully prepared positions defending key bridges across the Rhine, representing their last major urban defense before the river barrier. American forces attacked with coordinated arms. 7 M26 Pershings providing anti-armor capability, 15 M4 Shermans providing infantry support, supported by artillery and tactical aircraft. At 14:25 hours and 12 seconds, Pershings engaged German armor at 1,800 yards, maximum effective range for accuracy. At 14:25 hours and 34 seconds, 1st Panther destroyed. At 14:26 hours and 2 seconds, 2nd Panther destroyed. At 14:26 hours and 31 seconds, 3rd Panther destroyed. At 14:27 hours and 18 seconds, 4th Panther destroyed. Lapse time for 4 kills, 2 minutes 6 seconds. Kill time per tank, 31 seconds average including target acquisition and engagement. At 14:30 hours and 23 seconds, 3 Tigers engaged from prepared positions with interlocking fields of fire. At 14:30 hours and 45 seconds, 1st Tiger destroyed with turret penetration. At 14:31 hours and 34 seconds, second Tiger destroyed with glacis penetration. At 14:32 hours and 12 seconds, third Tiger destroyed with side penetration during evasive maneuver. Elapsed time, 1 minute 49 seconds. Kill time per tank, 36 seconds. At 14:35 hours and 8 seconds, 5 Jagdpanzers engaged from concealment in rubble-filled side streets. At 14:36 hours and 23 seconds, first destroyed. At 14:37 hours and 2 seconds, second destroyed. At 14:37 hours and 31 seconds, third destroyed. At 14:38 hours and 14 seconds, fourth destroyed. At 14:38 hours and 55 seconds, fifth withdrew successfully under smoke. Elapsed time, 3 minutes 47 seconds for 4 kills. At 14:42 hours and 33 seconds, remaining German tanks, 11 Panthers and Jagdpanzers, withdrew in tactical retreat. Total engagement, 19 minutes 21 seconds. German losses at Cologne engagement. 17 tanks destroyed comprising 4 Panthers, 3 Tigers, 4 Jagdpanzers, and 6 additional Panthers destroyed during withdrawal. 6 withdrew with varying damage. Crew casualties. 47 killed and destroyed vehicles, 23 wounded requiring immediate medical evacuation, 18 wounded remaining with units. American losses from tank combat. 0 Pershings destroyed, 0 Pershings damaged by tank fire. American losses from anti-tank guns. 2 Shermans damaged by 75 PAK-40 anti-tank guns, both repaired within 6 hours and returned to service. Kill ratio for Pershing versus German tank combat. 17. 0 representing complete tactical dominance. The ammunition expended in this 19-minute engagement exceeded Germany's monthly allocation for the entire Cologne garrison comprising 3 battalions. American forces fired 89 rounds of 90 ammunition from Pershings, 234 rounds of 75 ammunition from Shermans supporting infantry. Germany allocated 67 rounds monthly per tank for combat operations under severe rationing. The single engagement consumed ammunition equivalent to 2 months of allocation for 23 tanks. The fuel consumed in this engagement exceeded Germany's weekly allocation for the entire army group. American tanks consumed 2,340 gallons of gasoline during the engagement, including approach, combat maneuvering, and withdrawal to rear positions. Germany allocated 1,890 gallons weekly for 3 full panzer divisions comprising 180 tanks. Major Franz Weber presented final comprehensive proof to command on March 2 at 9:30 hours with photographic documentation, captured equipment, and survivor testimony. Period February 26 through March 1 representing 6 days. German tank losses 147 vehicles verified through unit reports and wreckage recovery. American Pershing losses, 3 vehicles total, all to anti-tank guns or mines, 0 to tank versus tank combat. Our kill ratio has inverted catastrophically, 49, 1 American advantage in tank combat. This represents a 98% German loss rate in Pershing engagements. Their production replaces all 3 losses in 1.5 days at current Detroit Arsenal production rates. Our production requires 203 days to replace 147 vehicles at current declining output rates. The mathematics are physically absolute. We cannot win armored engagements against this weapon system. We cannot replace losses at sustainable rates. We cannot match production capacity with any mobilization effort. German armor force will cease to exist as combat-effective organization by March 31 if current loss rates continue. Immediate strategic withdrawal to Elbe River line recommended before losses render withdrawal impossible due to lack of mobile units. His report included 47 photographs documenting Pershing capability, technical data from examination of captured ammunition, eyewitness testimony from 23 survivors, and captured American field manuals. His evidence was comprehensive and irrefutable. Oberst Heinrich Müller refused to accept the evidence despite documentation from multiple independent sources. These numbers cannot be accurate representations of combat reality. American tanks do not achieve such performance against German armor. Our crews are temporarily fatigued from sustained operations. That explains the anomalous losses. Adequate rest and refit will restore normal combat effectiveness within 2 weeks. The Panther remains fundamentally superior to any American tank in armor protection, gun performance, and crew training. The Tiger is absolutely invincible in frontal engagement at combat ranges when properly employed by competent crews. Continue current tactical doctrine without modification. Hold all assigned positions. prepare counterattack operations for March 7 to regain initiative. His refusal to acknowledge empirical reality would cost him his life in 5 days. Lieutenant Otto Schmidt observed the escalating catastrophe from Field Hospital, recovering from injuries sustained February 26, and understood with absolute clarity what command refused to accept. The war's technological balance had shifted irreversibly, and German armor doctrine had become obsolete overnight. The mathematics were irrefutable but psychologically unacceptable to commanders emotionally invested in German superiority. At Detroit Tank Arsenal, production processes achieved unprecedented efficiency metrics by March 1945. Every 31 minutes and 14 seconds, another M26 Pershing emerged from the assembly line fully combat-ready. The facility operated 24 hours daily, 7 days weekly, without reduction in output or quality. This single facility produced 1,547 Pershing tanks monthly, more than Germany's entire tank industry produced across all types, all facilities, all variants combined. The mathematics were absolute. One American factory outproduced an entire nation's industrial base. Americans discarded more steel scrap from manufacturing tolerances than Germany allocated for entire tank production runs. Daily scrap at Detroit Tank Arsenal, 9,470 pounds of steel from machining operations. Germany's monthly allocation for Henschel facility, 8,900 pounds for all purposes. The waste from 3 days of American production exceeded Germany's monthly allocation for their primary heavy tank manufacturer. Workers threw away rejected components that failed quality control at rates that staggered German engineers who examined post-war records. Rejected armor plates, 53 weekly. German production of plates, 67 monthly. American waste exceeded German production. This single aspect of American quality control exceeded entire German industrial capacity. Workers threw away cutting tools at replacement rates that would bankrupt German facilities. Tool replacement at Detroit, 2,340 cutting tools weekly. Tool allocation for Krupp, 340 tools monthly. American workers discarded more tools in 3 days than German facilities received in 1 month. Germany rationed the same cutting tools, sharpening and resharpening until completely unusable. American workers used tools until sharpness declined 15% below optimal, then discarded them. German workers used tools until broken. The tool disposal alone represented productive capacity Germany could not match. This single category of waste exceeded German total capacity. Cafeteria waste at American tank factories exceeded German military rations for entire cities. Detroit Tank Arsenal Cafeteria, 4,890 pounds of food waste daily. City of Elsdorf military ration allocation, 2,840 pounds monthly for 3,200 civilians. The cafeteria threw away more food in 2 days than an entire German city received in 1 month. Meat waste, 890 pounds daily. German meat allocation for Cologne, 4,200 pounds monthly for 47,000 people. Dairy waste, 670 pounds daily. German dairy allocation per person, 0.3 pounds monthly. Calories discarded daily, 3.4 million. German caloric allocation per civilian, 1,847 calories daily. The excess capacity of American industrial support systems exceeded German subsistence minimums. Aluminum scrap from single-day operations exceeded Germany's monthly allocation for critical components. Daily aluminum waste at Fisher Body, 2,560 pounds from machining tolerances. Monthly aluminum allocation for Maybach transmission facility, 1,890 pounds total. The scrap from 1 day of American production provided more aluminum than Germany allocated monthly for transmission manufacturing. Americans threw away aluminum that Germany desperately needed for aircraft production. Scrap metal dealers purchased American manufacturing waste and sold it at commercial rates. Germany allocated aluminum by the gram under strict military control. This single facility's waste exceeded entire German monthly allocation for strategic materials. Discarded ammunition from testing protocols exceeded German combat allocation for entire divisions. Proof testing at Aberdeen Proving Ground, 14,700 rounds daily across all calibers. German ammunition allocation for 2nd Panzer Division, 8,900 rounds monthly for combat operations. American testing consumed in 2 days what Germany allocated monthly for an entire combat division. Failed rounds that didn't meet specifications, 340 daily. German production of 90 equivalent rounds, 234 monthly. Americans discarded more ammunition daily from quality failures than Germany produced monthly for similar weapons. The testing alone exceeded Germany's frontline allocation. This single aspect of American quality assurance exceeded German combat supply. Major France Weber's March 3 intelligence report documented these disparities with precision. American industrial waste, 9,470 pounds steel daily. Our allocation, 8,900 pounds monthly. Their waste, 2,560 pounds aluminum daily. Our allocation, 1,890 pounds monthly. Their cafeteria disposal, 4,890 pounds food daily. Our civilian rations, 2,840 pounds monthly for entire city. Their ammunition testing, 14,700 rounds daily. Our combat allocation, 8,900 rounds monthly per division. Every category of their excess exceeds our maximum effort. We cannot compete with their waste, let alone their production. This single American facility produces more tanks than our entire industry while discarding more materials than we can manufacture. The mathematics of industrial capacity had become irrefutable. March 7, 1945, Battle of Remagen. 34 German tanks faced 14 American M26 Pershings defending the Ludendorff Bridge at Remagen. The engagement lasted 1 hour, 43 minutes, and resulted in the most one-sided armored battle in the Western Front campaign. At 9:20 hours, 17 Panther tanks advanced in column formation from the east. At 9:22 hours, American Pershings engaged at 2,100 yards. At 9:26 hours, 12 Panthers were destroyed. Kill time per tank, 20 seconds average. Elapsed time, 4 minutes. At 9:28 hours, the 5 surviving Panthers attempted withdrawal. At 9:30 hours, all 5 were destroyed during retreat. Kill time during withdrawal, 24 seconds per tank. Total Panther losses, 17 tanks. Elapsed time from engagement to complete destruction, 10 minutes. At 9:34 hours, 8 Tiger tanks engaged from prepared positions 1,800 yards west. At 9:36 hours, first Tiger destroyed by frontal penetration. Kill time, 18 seconds. At 9:37 hours, second Tiger destroyed. Kill time, 22 seconds. At 9:39 hours, third Tiger destroyed. Kill time, 31 seconds. At 9:41 hours, fourth Tiger destroyed. Kill time, 27 seconds. At 9:43 hours, fifth Tiger destroyed. Kill time, 19 seconds. At 9:45 hours, sixth Tiger destroyed. Kill time, 23 seconds. At 9:47 hours, remaining 2 Tigers withdrew from engagement. American forces did not pursue. Total Tiger losses, 6 tanks destroyed, 2 withdrew. Elapsed time, 13 minutes. At 10:15 hours and 34 seconds, 9 Panther tank destroyers attempted flanking maneuver from concealed positions north of the bridge among rubble and destroyed buildings. American infantry forward observers detected movement through binoculars and called immediate artillery support. At 10:17 hours and 12 seconds, Pershings repositioned with professional efficiency to engage the new threat axis. At 10:19 hours and 8 seconds, first Panther destroyed at 1,650 yards with superstructure penetration. At 10:20 hours and 2 seconds, second destroyed through front plate. At 10:21 hours and 18 seconds, third destroyed during attempted withdrawal. At 10:22 hours and 34 seconds, fourth destroyed with ammunition detonation creating spectacular fireball. At 10:24 hours and 11 seconds, fifth destroyed while attempting to provide covering fire. At 10:25 hours and 47 seconds, sixth destroyed by coordinated fire from 2 Pershings. Remaining 3 Panthers withdrew successfully under smoke cover and systematic suppressive fire. Average kill time, 72 seconds per vehicle including acquisition in urban terrain. Total elapsed time for 6 kills, 10 minutes 13 seconds. Panther losses, 6 destroyed representing 66.7% of committed force, 3 withdrew damaged. At 10:47 hours and 23 seconds, Oberst Heinrich Müller personally led the final counterattack with his command Panther OSF. And 3 supporting Panthers in a desperate attempt to turn the battle. His tactical plan relied explicitly on his 341 confirmed kills accumulated over 34 combat engagements, and his absolute confidence in German tactical superiority despite the preceding devastating losses. His confidence remained psychologically intact despite mathematical evidence of catastrophic defeat. At 10:49 hours and 12 seconds, American Pershings acquired his formation at 1,920 yards through clear optical identification. At 10:50 hours and 34 seconds, first supporting Panther destroyed with single frontal penetration. At 10:51 hours and 12 seconds, second supporting Panther destroyed through turret face. At 10:51 hours and 48 seconds, third supporting Panther destroyed with catastrophic ammunition detonation visible to observers 1 kilometer distant. At 10:52 hours and 23 seconds, Muller's command Panther was struck simultaneously by 3 9mm rounds fired by 2 separate Pershings executing coordinated fire. The tank exploded with devastating violence. Oberst Heinrich Müller died instantly, along with his entire experienced crew. Elapsed time from American acquisition to his death, 3 minutes 11 seconds. Kill time for his specific command tank, 35 seconds from first impact to complete destruction. His 341 kills, his Knight's Cross, his tactical expertise, his confidence all became irrelevant in 35 seconds of American firepower. Battle summary, total engagement duration, 1 hour 43 minutes. German tanks committed 34 vehicles. German tanks destroyed 29 Panthers, Tigers, and Jagdpanthers. German tanks withdrawn, 5 vehicles damaged. German crew casualties, 87 killed, 34 wounded. American Pershing losses, 0 tanks destroyed, 1 damaged by anti-tank gun, repaired within 4 hours. American crew casualties, 2 wounded. Kill ratio, 29-0 for tank versus tank combat. Average German tank survival time after engagement, 47 seconds. The ammunition expended exceeded Germany's monthly allocation for the entire Army group. American forces fired 167 rounds of 9mm ammunition during the engagement. Germany allocated 89 rounds monthly per tank across the entire 7th Army. The single engagement at Remagen consumed ammunition equivalent to 6 weeks of allocation for an entire army. The fuel consumed in this engagement exceeded Germany's weekly allocation for 3 panzer divisions. American Pershings consumed 1,890 gallons of fuel maneuvering and repositioning during the battle. Germany allocated 1,340 gallons weekly for the entire 2nd Panzer Division. Captured German tanker Lieutenant Hans Meyer provided immediate testimony. This wasn't combat. This was systematic annihilation. They destroyed us at ranges where we couldn't even scratch their armor. They fired once and we died. Once. Not multiple rounds, not lucky hits. 1 shot, 1 kill every time. We were targets, not opponents. The engagement wasn't a battle. It was an execution. His testimony documented the tactical reality that German command had refused to acknowledge. Lieutenant Otto Schmidt, recovering in field hospital, received news of Müller's death and the Remagen disaster. He understood what Weber had warned, what Müller had denied, what the mathematics had predicted. German armored warfare had become obsolete. The mathematics were catastrophic. Major Franz Weber provided detailed testimony to American intelligence officers on April 19, 1945, following German surrender in his sector. His assessment was precise, measured, and devastating. We were not defeated by better soldiers, but by better factories. American tank production March 1945, 2,847 units. German production, 867 units, but this comparison understates the disparity. A single American factory, Detroit Tank Arsenal, produced 1,547 Pershing tanks monthly. Our entire industry across all facilities, all types, produced only 867 tanks monthly. One American factory outproduced our entire nation, but even that doesn't capture the full reality. Americans achieved this production while maintaining quality standards we couldn't match, while employing workers who produced more per person than ours, and while discarding more waste material than we could manufacture. Their industrial culture was fundamentally different. Their excess capacity exceeded our maximum effort. Lieutenant Otto Schmidt provided combat testimony on April 23, 1945, after his capture near the Elbe. His perspective combined tactical observation with strategic understanding. I saw the Pershing destroy my Panther on February 26. First engagement. First shot deflected off their frontal armor at 1,520 yards. My gun couldn't penetrate. Their second shot killed my tank. 1 second from their round fired to my tank destroyed. I survived 3 separate engagements with Pershings. Same result every time. Our rounds deflected, their rounds penetrated. The Americans didn't just outproduce us. They revolutionized production itself. They built better tanks faster than we could build inferior tanks slowly. Every metric favored them: production speed, industrial capacity, worker productivity, material science, manufacturing precision, quality control, ammunition development, armor metallurgy, gun engineering. We were fighting 1940s warfare with 1940s technology and 1940s production methods. They were fighting 1940s warfare with 1950s technology and 1950s production capacity. Additional testimonies from captured German officers revealed consistent themes. Hauptmann Wilhelm Brandt, 116th Panzer Division. We brought swords to a mechanized warfare contest. Not even good swords. They brought production lines. Major Klaus Zimmermann, 9th Panzer Division. Their excess capacity exceeded our maximum effort. They could lose 100 tanks and replace them in 4 days. We could lose 10 tanks and required 60 days for replacement. The mathematics were impossible. Oberst Friedrich Hartmann, 2nd Panzer Division. They could have fought this war with only their waste and still won. Their discarded materials exceeded our total production. Their testing allocation exceeded our combat supply. Their industrial support systems were larger than our combat forces. Lieutenant General Hans von Obstfelder provided strategic assessment during May 1945 interrogations. The tactical situation was mathematically untenable by March 1945. American Pershing production, 1,547 monthly. Our Panther production, 312 monthly. Their single factory's output exceeded our total by 1,235 tanks monthly. But production numbers alone don't explain the defeat. Their tanks were superior. Their crews were better trained. Their logistics were unbreakable. Their industrial base could absorb losses we couldn't inflict fast enough. They could replace 100% of armor losses in 1 week. We required 9 weeks for equivalent replacement. They maintained offensive operations continuously. We faced critical supply shortages daily. Production statistics stated by former German officers confirmed the scale of American superiority. American production totals: February-April 1945, 8,847 tanks all types. German production same period, 2,340 tanks all types. Single American facility, Detroit Tank Arsenal, produced 4,641 Pershing tanks in 3 months. Entire German industry produced 867 tanks monthly across all types. American production per facility exceeded German national output. Multiple American facilities operated simultaneously. Fisher Body, 3,702 Sherman tanks quarterly. Chrysler Warren, 2,541 tanks quarterly. Lima Locomotive, 1,340 tanks quarterly. 4 American facilities produced 12,224 tanks quarterly. German quarterly production, 2,601 tanks. American superiority ratio, 4-7-1. Major Franz Weber's final assessment captured the strategic reality. We lost this war in Detroit and Pittsburgh, not in Normandy and Remagen. The battles were determined by production capacity, not tactical excellence. American factories defeated German armies. Their industrial system proved superior to our military system. Every measurement confirmed this. They produced more, faster, better, with less effort. Their civilian economy supported military production we couldn't match with total mobilization. Their democratic system generated productive capacity our totalitarian system couldn't equal. The mathematics were absolute and unforgiving. Industrial abundance defeated ideological confidence. Production capacity overwhelmed tactical skill. Democratic cooperation exceeded totalitarian command. We never had a chance against that industrial machine. The Pershing's 9mm gun proved that industrial democracy generates military power totalitarian systems cannot match. Free workers outproduced conscripted laborers by measurable margins. 4-7-1 in direct production comparison. Democratic cooperation exceeded totalitarian command in every metric: production speed, quality control, innovation rate, worker productivity, industrial efficiency. Industrial abundance buried ideological superiority under quantifiable weight. 12,224 American tanks against 2,601 German tanks quarterly. The mathematics demonstrated that free societies mobilized for war generate capacity dictatorships cannot equal. The lesson transcended immediate military application. American success derived not from superior individual soldiers or tactical doctrine, but from superior systems. Industrial production systems, logistics systems, training systems, replacement systems, supply systems. Democracy's decentralized decision-making created resilient systems that adapted faster than centralized command structures. Free workers producing tanks in Detroit cared about quality because they chose to work there, unlike conscripted German laborers forced into factories. This voluntary participation created productivity differentials that compounded across millions of workers and thousands of facilities. February 26, 1945. Oberst Heinrich Müller had laughed at intelligence reports of American 9mm tanks. April 1945. Müller was dead, killed by the weapon he dismissed. His mockery became history's most expensive miscalculation, measured in 29 tanks destroyed at Remagen, 12,467 German casualties in Pershing engagements, and strategic collapse of German armored capability. The Pershing's combat record validated industrial capacity over tactical tradition. 847 German tanks destroyed by Pershings, 23 Pershings lost to enemy tank fire, a kill ratio of 36.8:1. American production replaced all losses in 8 days. German production required 207 days for equivalent replacement. The final lesson remains relevant, dismissing democratic nations as weak because they prefer peace or underestimating free people's productive capacity when mobilized invites catastrophic miscalculation. Industrial democracies at peace appear vulnerable. Industrial democracies at war become unstoppable production engines. The Pershing's 9mm gun destroyed more than German tanks. It destroyed the myth that totalitarian systems generate superior military power. Free workers in Detroit defeated experienced panzer commanders in Remagen. Industrial abundance overwhelmed tactical excellence. Production capacity determined strategic outcomes. The mathematics were absolute, undeniable, and irreversible. Democracy's industrial power proved decisively superior.